What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Come On and Console. My name is Jason. Today we are looking at some huge pickups for my Xbox 360 collection. Now these games are some games that have been on my list for absolutely ages, and I've got them for fairly decent prices and fairly not so decent prices, but the main thing is I have actually got them in the collection. So without further ado, let's get to the games. So the first game on this video is The Godfather II. Yeah, this is a sequel to the Godfather video game that came out on PS2, original Xbox, and had an Xbox 360 version of that title as well. Don't have that one yet, but I do have the sequel. To me, this is probably one of the most underrated open world crime games ever, in my opinion. I remember spending tons of time on this game. Absolutely loved it. Loads of things to do in it. You can, from what I remember, buy properties, you can smuggle, you can extort, you can just absolutely obliterate your enemies with gunfire. There's some crazily violent execution animation in this as well that makes this all the more fun, just to go around and cause havoc as you would normally do in these open world games, of course. But yeah, that's Godfather 2. Had to add it to collection. And you'll notice a theme in this video is that I'm not seeing these games very often in the wild, and this game doesn't come up very often. And when I went to one of my local CX stops, they had two, so I picked the best one that was in the best condition. Yeah, Godfather 2. Really underrated open world game in my opinion. Next up is a JRPG that I got on Vinted for an absolutely insane steal. This was £3 on Vinted. It is a JRPG called Enchanted Arms. Now this game, I remember it being really fun back in the day. When I first got a 360, I was still slightly into the whole JRPG stuff, so I was into the turn-based combat, I was into all that jazz. I remember this game being pretty good for a fairly early Xbox 360 title. Yeah, so I'm really happy to get this for an absolute steal price for the 360. I don't know how it holds up now. I've not played it since back in those days, so I'm not sure how it fares in modern JRPG standards, but this might still be a fun little time. I mean, I'm happy that I've got it complete with manual, as you do in these videos, but yeah, I had to get this one for £3. I wasn't gonna like leave it behind on Vinted there. It had to come home with me. It had to be purchased for that money, because I think it goes for about 8 to 10 quid anyway on the used market, so I got it for a great price. That's Enchanted Arms. Next up is a game where I didn't really want to pay the money that I did, but I had a voucher for CEX, as I do, as per most of my collection is built off of CEX voucher trade-in. So this next game was £35. It was painful, but again, I had a voucher, like I said, so I was all about just getting games that if they're there and I want them for the collection, I want to play them, I know that I'm just going to drop the money down on them, because I didn't pay real money for this, obviously, as you do. But the game is Captain America Super Soldier. I'm sure this is a movie tie-in game based on the first Avenger Captain America film of that ilk. But yeah, I've heard this game kind of straddles that same line as the Arkham games. It has similar free flow combat. In terms of reception, don't know how well it did, but I've heard people say it's a fairly forgotten game that's pretty decent, especially when it concerns movie-based tie-ins or MCU tie-ins. This is probably one of the better ones, according to reviews, according to people's opinions on the internet. I did look it up beforehand just to see what the general consensus was, which made me pick it up because I love the Arkham Batman games. So if this is anything close to that, it might be a good one, right? That is Captain America Super Soldier. I had to get it for the collection. It was definitely on my list. The £35 price point was a bit iffy for me, but based on gameplay footage and the general opinion amongst retro gamers, this seems like a really fun little game to play as Captain America. It's got some cool shield frisbeeing action, so why not give this a go? That's Captain America Super Soldier. If you've watched my channel for any length of time, you might know that I am slowly but surely collecting all of the Transformers titles on Xbox 360, and I've picked up one of the bigger hitters of that series, Transformers War for Cybertron. Now these Cybertron games for the Transformers series are getting super expensive these days, and the problem is that they're going to keep going up and up in price. And thankfully my girlfriend was selling her DS, and she quite kindly just got a voucher for it and picked this game up for me. So big thank you for the girlfriend, my girlfriend. Yes, so give her a big up in the comments as you do. But that is Transformers War for Cybertron, one of the best Transformers games ever made in my opinion, up there with the singular Transformers title on the PS2 of course, but that is Transformers War for Cybertron. The final game in this video is Alien Breed Trilogy. This has got to be one of the most expensive games I've picked up for the 360 as of late. I paid £45 for it, complete with manual, but I love these Alien Breed remake games. I think they're fantastic. They bring them up to date really well, and the gameplay is absolutely addictive. I remember playing hours of these when they were on the Xbox Live Arcade back in the day, but to have them on a physical disc is what I wanted, and it's probably my favourite pickup so far for the 360 in terms of you never see it, and then I picked it up with a voucher, so super happy with that. I called CX slipping as well. This should have been 55. It was stickered at 45, and they had to honour the stickered price. So that is Alien Breed Trilogy. Super happy to get that. So that's it, guys. Those are the pickups for today's huge Xbox 360 haul. As always, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below about any of these games. And as always, let's continue to build a games collection.